Okay. Hi.
Okay.
Welcome to Business in Black with Robin Bloom, where we celebrate the ingenuity and resilience of Black women entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Robin, and today we're honored to have Shyann Price, a powerhouse entrepreneur making her mark in real estate and the skincare industry. Get ready to be inspired by her drive and innovative spirit. And the smile. I got to tell you about that. Let's dive
Thank
into the
you.
world of Black business. Hi, Cheyenne, or should I call you Miss
Hello.
Price?
You can call me Cheyenne. Hello.
Okay.
I am glad to
Hi.
be on here.
I'm glad that you accepted our invitation. It is our
Yes.
honor to highlight Black women in entrepreneurship and
Yes.
or business overall.
Right, right.
So I know that a lot of women may not know what you do. So tell us, in about
Yeah.
25 seconds what you do, and then we'll go on from there.
Yeah. So I am, like she said, an entrepreneur. I am a realtor. I am in the Cleveland, Ohio area, but I do not discriminate as far as like putting myself in a box. So I do travel for business.
Mhm.
I have been in Houston, Dallas, Virginia. I just left from Vegas recently. So different parts of the world. So you can always contact me. And then I also have my own organic skincare business, Bombshell
Mhm.
Sensations LLC. So I actually hand make all of the products that I sell for skincare, and they're all natural or organic. I started that because I wanted to stay at home with my kids. So back in 2020, before COVID hit, I actually had the idea and started doing research and just ended up starting that company that year. And yeah, and then I also have a nonprofit organization called Let's Link Collective. So we have really cool things coming with that. It's a networking nonprofit. So it's just about bringing people together from all backgrounds and bringing the community together.
That sounds awesome and time consuming. It definitely does. So before you became an entrepreneur, what job experiences would you say offered you the most valuable skills that you could bring to your entrepreneur journey?
Yeah, so I would definitely say one of the main jobs that actually gave me the skills was being a mother. I would say
Mhm.
that that was probably the main thing because when you are a mom, you have to make sure that you are able to balance all things. So that's like making sure you also have patience, so you're not yelling at the kids all the time just because you're overwhelmed. So that's one of like the hardest things that I was able to actually build a skill set off of. And then secondary to that would definitely be my job as a manager in a fulfillment center. Um, that taught me a lot about the background in the corporate world, as well as just like how to manage a company.
Mhm.
Because one of my main jobs there was to make sure the company was still making money. So I'm managing all these different types of personalities. At one point, I had 100 employees under me
Oh,
that
wow.
I needed to have conversations. I had to engage with them. We were graded on their reports of us. So they will be asked questions on their screens while they're doing a job, and
Mhm.
it will reflect us. So if we have bad grades from our employees, we're being looked at like you need to engage with your employees more. It's
Mhm.
hard in a fulfillment center to engage with 100 employees at the
Mhm.
same level to
Mhm.
make sure that they all feel important. So on that scale, and then also just like trying to make sure the company was running smoothly, making sure that they were efficient and making money at the same time. So those were definitely two of the things that gave me a lot of the skills that I have today.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say about consistency? Because it sounded like you said that you had to, engage with them on a regular basis, and that's consistency. So how
Mhm.
do you maintain your motivation and drive as you face that consistency in your entrepreneur endeavors?
Yeah, I think it's always just imagining that end goal and what you're doing it for. I was always told by just different mentors and things that I had that if I'm going into this thinking, oh, I just want $1 million or millions of dollars, that's the wrong
Mhm.
mindset to keep. I always would tell anybody who is thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, it sometimes is a slow grind and it's a slow burn to get to that level that you imagine when you first had that idea in your head that you want to be at. And I think everyone would love to be able to blow up like the small percentage of entrepreneurs that do within
Mhm.
2 years, 5 years, or whatever. But sometimes it might take you like 10 years to get to that point that you really want to be at, because there's a lot of like trial and error during that time period. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of us that get into entrepreneurship, we don't want to deal with the trial and error. We want it to be trial and success, no errors. And that's just not realistic. So I would definitely say, like, if you want to get into entrepreneurship or you are currently trying to, find your way in that realm, to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. What are the right reasons? Yeah. Make sure that reason is not money. Your reason needs to be whether it's helping the community, whether it's being an influence in a positive way to the community, or something that really pulls on your heartstrings and what your passion is. You have to have passion and what everything that you do, because without that passion, if you're only chasing dollars, you might have a little bit of success, but it's not going to last. And you want long lasting success. So then generations to come after you are able to profit off of that and use that and actually have a bigger picture in mind.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. And I'm glad that you had mentors along the way. And in that, can you describe to us what or which mentor has given you the most to grow off of and
Mhm.
how that has impacted your growth?
Yeah, so I would definitely say networking is key, because sometimes, a lot of people, we don't have those people to connect to initially. Like, you might not have that sense of community in your personal life. That sense of community could be something that you're seeking. So I would say getting yourself out there and connecting to individuals. You never know who might be your mentor. For me personally, I'm Delta Sigma Theta. So I have a lot of my like older sorors who were great mentors in me starting my journey, and just a great people that I was able to kind of, bounce questions off of with no
Mhm.
judgment. And they were able to give me those tools to keep pushing in any endeavor that I did. It was them always stating to me, you are capable of much more than even you think that you are capable of. And
Mm.
don't allow anyone else tell you different. Because what people will do is project their fears onto you.
Mhm.
And I think that that is something that usually makes people not follow through with what they really want to do, is like family members, friends, and they're telling you, oh, I don't know, that idea might be too big.
Mhm.
There's no such thing as a too big of an idea. I will tell you that. Yes, you need to lay the foundation down though. And that's what people should be telling you. Okay, well, what steps do you want to take to get to that point? Not you can't do it. And I
Mhm.
think surrounding yourself with people like that want to encourage you versus make you scared or afraid to do that and jump out of those
Mhm.
boundaries. I think those are the people that you want to have around you.
Okay. So you said that Delta Sigma Theta is your support system.
Hmm.
What, for those that may not be connected that way, where do
Hmm.
you suggest that they find a support system? And um, is that support system easy to find?
That's what I was hitting on as far as like networking, right? So like what I initially did, because sometimes like my older sorors aren't available, or maybe I want a
Mhm.
different opinion. So I have met so many great leaders, and they have nonprofits themselves. They might be entrepreneurs themselves. Some of them, they have a 9 to 5, but they can provide great insight, because I know that they're great people and they are doing what they, are passionate about in whatever they're
Mhm.
doing and what endeavors they have. So I think networking and getting out there to events, Midtown Tech Hive is an amazing place to go.
Okay.
So that's one place. They have events every third Friday of the month in Cleveland. And it's called the Midtown Tech Hive. That's where they meet, and they have events, networking events. I met so many great people. It was like other realtors, other entrepreneurs, people who were just doing their own thing, and they looked like me. And that
Okay.
was so important, because
Hmm.
I wasn't surrounded by people who maybe they didn't understand, how I identify, or maybe they just weren't of my culture, so it was a bit different. And I was
Hmm.
able to go into a room that was owned by people who looked like me, And you could tell that they accepted all kinds of people in there because it didn't just look one way. So that's important too. So when we're talking about community, make sure that you're in rooms that aren't looking at you a certain way just because of how you present yourself or how you look. Make sure you're in rooms that are very accepting and they're encouraging of anybody who might look different or think differently or anything like that. And I would suggest for you to go on Google. That's what I did. Go on
Mhm.
Google, look up networking events near me, and you'll
Okay.
see where to start. You'll see where to start. And I would suggest anybody, like, I always put my number out there. You are more than welcome to reach out to me. I make sure that I am available for anyone. If you just need encouraging words, if you need resources, I do not gatekeep. And I think that's a big thing too. Surround yourself around people who do not gatekeep.
Mhm. That is important. That is important. So tell us a little bit about your bombshell sensations.
Yeah, so Bombshell Sensations, like I said, I started in 2020.
Mhm.
I always was into like skincare to some extent, but I noticed, like, before I even started the company, I noticed that I was having a hard time finding stuff that actually did what the label says. So
Okay.
they will present themselves as organic, and then you walk in and you actually read the label, and it's like,
Mhm.
but you have this colorant, this, I know that's not organic. So when going through that, and then I'm wondering why it's not working on my face, well, they have all these preservatives, which is why it lasts so long.
Mhm.
The one thing that I tell people is use the products that you have. You should not have things sitting on the shelf in your bathroom for over years and years, and it still looks the same. That's not good. It has a lot of chemicals. It has a lot of, preservatives and things to keep it in that state. So when I was like, just, I would go into stores and I would actually look at products. I would pick up pamphlets and I would research into the ingredients that were in these products that were labeled organic, or even the ones that weren't, and just see the different smells. I always loved oils and things like that. So
Mhm.
it was like listening to my stories as well as other friends' stories, family stories about how they have dark spots they can't get rid of, and how unaffordable it was to buy things that so-called should work, right? Or if they
Mhm.
bought it, it still didn't work for them. So when I created Bombshell Sensations, it was more so I wanted to be able to build a company, a brand where you didn't have to go through several automated services just to ask a question. You can call me and ask a question. I have it where on my website you can customize your own skincare. And that's
Okay.
because I know there's so many different textures of skin. There's so many different problems that people might be facing when it comes to skin. It's so complex, and I don't want people to be limited when it comes to the products that I'm giving them. If you're spending money with me, I want it to be a good quality product that actually works for you.
So you're saying you allow them to customize. So that means that if I feel like I have dark spots and I believe that
Mhm. Turmeric.
turmeric, turmeric would be better for me, I can go in and say, hey, I want something with turmeric, you know that word,
Turmeric.
and aloe vera, or
Yeah.
is that how that works? I can
Yeah.
ask for something to be made with the specific ingredients that I want.
Yes, yes. And the
Okay.
price varies based on your customized order, because I have products, like I have a turmeric bar that I offer to all customers. That's just there. But say you want a turmeric bar and say you do want to add aloe vera into it, you
Okay.
can put inside of we have like a custom order thing that pops up on our website if you
Mm-hmm.
want to
The
customize the order,
form.
and you can
Mm-hmm.
fill that in. Yes, a form, and you can fill that in and I will see it, and then we can discuss, okay, well, this is how much this will cost for this specific product, depending on what's in it or whatever. So it offers the opportunity to my clients to be able to put whatever they feel is best for their skin or what they know works for their skin into that product to make sure it's going to work for them. And I think that that's a very unique thing. And that's kind of like what's unique about my brand is I actually care to communicate to my client. I want us to have communication. I don't want you to feel like you can never get in contact or get a problem resolved.
It's such a skincare is such an oversaturated market. How have you overcome the intrusive thoughts and maintain your confidence? And at the same time, how has that resonated with your customers?
Yeah, so it's definitely difficult because you see all of these big brand companies and they have such a machine behind them because of all the billions and
Mhm.
billions of dollars they have
Mhm.
behind them, and so their marketing is so good. And so I would be lying if I said that that didn't, like, to this day, it always is going to be something that, gets to me because it's like, dang, like, can I really do this? But you really
Mhm.
have to fight against this, and I feel like every time I get a positive comment from a customer saying, "Oh my gosh, your turmeric bar really works so well," and I'm so happy. I have a boost of confidence, and okay, I see messages like that, and that just keeps me going because I know I'm doing the right thing and I'm actually helping people. I think people, when you think of skincare, it's such a people think of it on such a like surface level, but they don't
Mhm.
understand like a lot of people build a lot of insecurities within themselves because their face might have acne or, their inner thighs. There might be an insecurity because they have discoloration or things like that. So, seeing those comments and seeing those reviews about my brand, as well as just my friends calling me like, "Hey, girl, you got that chapstick? I really need it. My mom wants it. It smells so good. You have that body butter." And that really pushes me to do it because I know the quality of my products. It's like there's no defeating that. Like there's no saying that that's wrong because my clients are always coming to me, my customers, they're always reassuring me. And I think that helps. Just start it, just begin. Don't be scared, just do it. And just know that failure comes with learning too. I think that's a big thing to stress. Like, don't be scared to fail because then you will never do it.
Are those the pieces of advice that you would give any other entrepreneur just starting out? Or
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
and what was something that you wish that somebody had told you before you started?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I was so excited about starting. I wish I kind of just knew more as far as just like the foundation of like of course, when you have a business, of course, there's like taxes and things like
Mhm.
that. So just having like certain eggs in a row that I didn't know because I wasn't coming from a background of business. It was very
Mhm.
like random, like, oh, I want to do this. So I would definitely, my advice would definitely be to research like, okay, how is it to run this type of business? Like maybe Google some other people in your area that are currently successfully running those types of businesses and ask them that question of, hey, what would you suggest I do? Because I'm trying to do something similar, and I just
Mhm.
want to make sure I have this foundation to start with, so I don't have to run into those issues. Because when I started mine, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was all about, I'm such a creative. It's like creative, idea. And it's like, okay, but let's slow down. Okay, let's make sure that we have like our business side of that,
Mhm.
established or at least like put to the side so that once we need that person, accountant or whatever, we
Mhm.
have that person on the side so we're not rushing anything. So I would definitely say that. Oh, sales tax is a big thing. I was like, what is sales tax? Like what is sales tax when I started? And then it was like, oh, that is something I have to do. So those things that you don't necessarily think about because you're so excited, I would definitely say make sure you research before you start and then get the ball rolling.
Let's see, should I be an LLC? Should I be an S corp? Should I be a C corp? How does all of that run together? Those are things that.
Yes, 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 yes. I would definitely say like it, and of course it's dependent on the type of business that you want to run, like which is
Mhm.
better for that. And I would also just suggest like sometimes I feel like we can't really ask people for help or we feel like we're going to be rejected. And you do have
Mhm.
those people who, like I said, gatekeepers and people who just don't want to help unless they're getting paid. But you also do have people that are more than willing to help, especially if it's their job to do that. So like speaking to an accountant, speaking to someone who is in the tax world and things like that. Hey, what makes the most sense for this type of business? You can always seek out information or even just research it.
Mhm. And small business administration, women's department is excellent for that as
Yeah.
well. So,
Hmm.
mhm.
Yes.
So I'm sure you envision Bombshell Sensations as being its luxury, customized experience. I'm sure you envision that you will someday be a zillionaire.
Yeah.
But what steps are you taking to achieve the vision that you have for your business? What impact do you hope that it will have on the industry?
Yeah, so I wanted to, like I said, I don't really know many skincare companies who are able to really keep that, like when they promote as organic, keep it that way. Once they
Okay.
have like this big funding, or they might have someone that bought into the company, so they might not own as much as their company, and a lot of
Mm,
decisions aren't theirs. I've had that issue even with hair companies that I've used, where the ingredients, like you're like, wait, this doesn't work in my hair anymore, and you
mhm.
find out it was bought by a corporation and the quality changed. I don't ever want my business to become that. No matter what investors we have, no matter what, I always want to own my business, at least a majority of my business.
Mhm.
And I always want to make sure the quality stays the same. I think that is huge. So I lost my train of thought. What was the other question? What was the other question?
We were talking about how do you see your vision
Oh, yes, yes.
expanding?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah, so with that, like the quality control, I wanted to stay where people are still able to communicate with me, or at least
Mhm.
like with our team in an easy way. And I wanted to be that company, that go-to company. Hey girl, do you know that you can actually create this through this company? That's like my vision for it, is like for everyone, like for this to blow up and everyone to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to this one because I know I'm able to be creative with my skincare over here, and it's still affordable.
That's important too. Yeah.
Hmm.
You also have a career in real estate. How do you manage to integrate those two distinct businesses? They have nothing to do with each other, and make the synergies work.
Yeah, so with real estate, it's so fun. I love it. And we actually like how I kind of brought them together is I offer for any of my fellow realtors that I know work with, I make house-shaped soaps for them to give to their clients as a thank you. So I I try to connect all my businesses together where I can make money from each type of clientele. I can make money
Mhm.
through all my businesses for them. And I think that's a very smart way to go about it. If you are an entrepreneur like me, where I can't stay out of any sector of business, like I'm just like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. If you are that type of person, I definitely suggest like making it make sense. So with that, that's how I connected the two. I was like, oh, well, I'm selling real estate. Hey, I also have a skincare business and I'm offering this. So you can pay me this fee if you want some of my soaps to give to your clients as a thank you. I do that with my own clients. So then it promotes my skincare business, and it also leaves like a good impression for them to want to work with me again.
Oh, absolutely. I love that marketing strategies. Do you
Mhm.
have any other marketing strategies you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I would say, like even with my nonprofit, so it's a networking nonprofit. So with that, and I made it a networking nonprofit for a reason, because with networking, I can throw events through my nonprofit while also bringing clients to the events, potential clients. So
Yeah.
I'm able to say, hey, I'm also a realtor and it's my nonprofit event. And they'll contact me and say, hey, I actually am looking for so,
Okay.
connecting the dots, you have to like,
Mhm.
you have to promote yourself because no, you can't rely on anyone else to do it. And that's what I learned the hard way, because I was so anxious about, big crowds and going to networking events by myself. You just have to do
Mhm.
it. You have to put yourself out there. And if you don't know how to promote your product, you can't expect for it to blow up. You have to be like, you know what? I'm going to suck it up. I might be sweating, but I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to say, "Hey, my name is Cheyenne Price. How are you? This is what I do." Because you have to be your biggest fan. Nobody, you can't expect anyone else to do it. You have to do it.
Mhm. So how do you stay up with the latest trends?
I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I am on all social medias. So I know what's trending and what's not, what's in, what's out, and all that good stuff. And I think that that's like one of the biggest things we have to help us actually right now. Social media will tell you everything, as well as like if you
Mhm.
make sure that you're outside. I try to stay outside. I try to go to at least like 2 events a week if I can. And if you go outside and you just ask people questions, talk to people, you'll know what, these people want, what they are missing, what, people will naturally tell you,
Mhm.
everything that they need or want or wish could happen. And if you
Mhm.
can make that a reality for people, they're going to come to you for business.
I look forward to learning from you myself. So, share with other young Black women entrepreneurs who want to inspire or who aspire to be entrepreneurs. What are the footsteps for managing multiple ventures?
Yeah, I would say definitely keep a good calendar,
Okay.
like a planner. Make sure that and it all depends on what type of personality type you have. I know me personally, I can get overwhelmed very easily. Like
Mhm.
it can feel like a huge weight on me if I have too many moving parts, and as you can tell, I do. So I try to keep my planner and I try to make sure I'm updating it every day or at
Okay.
least like every week, like filling it out for the week. And if I have something that pops up, I make sure to put it in there immediately. Also, if you have a iPhone, I'm not sure. I have an iPhone, but I'm not sure if I'm sure something similar is on a Android too. But it's this app called To Do. And as you can see, I am able to
Mhm.
write out like all of my to-do list for the day. This
Okay.
helps with my anxiety because I'm able to check mark and it disappears. And for me, that's like a mental note. Okay, I got that done. And it makes me
Okay.
feel like I'm, actually doing stuff during the day because sometimes when I'm not checking things off, it feels like nothing was done. And that can
Mhm.
really hold you back because if you're constantly like feeling like you're not doing enough, you won't do anything. You'll be like, I'm tapped out. I don't even feel like looking at this today. So I really do suggest that. Like my to-do list definitely saves me from having a panic attack every day. And also just keeping up with your planner, making sure that you're marking things down. If you need to write them down or digitally do it,
Mhm.
whichever works best for you. But find your happy medium with it.
Okay. So looking ahead, what are your long-term goals for your business and what legacy do you hope to create?
Yeah, so long-term goal, I want to get some big marketing out for Bombshell Sensations, as well as my nonprofit Lesson Collective. I just started my nonprofit, so we are getting the ball rolling. We actually have our
Okay.
first event, our first food drive event for this year. We had two prior events from last year that were, I did a networking brunch, and then I also did a voter registration before the election.
Okay.
So we have a couple of more things coming this year. So I really do want to push some more really good marketing out, and I'm connecting with people currently, hint, hint, on some things. And then also just being able to meet more people. I want to build a space where whenever you hear my name, you know there is support there, no matter what you're doing. I don't care what
Okay.
background you have. I don't care if you just started. I don't care if you already are a millionaire. I want to connect with everyone that I can connect with. This is me saying, connect with me. So, if you have a business that you want to start, if you already started a business, like I don't mind collabing. I feel like there is enough money out here for everyone. But what is missing is community. I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to be the biggest fish in the ocean.
Mhm.
And that's not me. I don't care. As long as I'm able to, be successful and success looks like me making sure my all my businesses are profitable, my nonprofit is actually serving the community like I wanted to. And
Absolutely.
being able for my kids to take over when I'm older. I want them to be able to have this and actually be driven by it.
Oh, absolutely. I
Mhm.
understand. Oh, I so totally thank you for the time that you've given us today. You've given me a wealth of information that I'm believing that our viewers will also take, and you'll make a lot more connections.
Yes.
People will begin to reach out to you, and connect. But before we go, please share with me all of your social media platforms. Let everybody know how they can reach out to you, how they can support you, how they can
Yes.
just talk to you, because you're not a gatekeeper.
Yes, yes. So you can actually, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about real estate. And I also have this segment where I what I call dress that drink. So I make drinks based on interior design rooms. So I make a little, mixed drink situation. So if you are like the type that likes to drink on occasion, if you are over the age of 21, of course, um, you can check out my YouTube. It's Black in Realty. So BLACKINREALTY. So that's where you can find me on YouTube. And then Instagram. My real estate Instagram is Shyann the Realtor. That's it. And then my as you can see, I have a lot. Okay. My nonprofit Instagram is just Let's Link Collective, no apostrophe near the S, just Let's Link Collective at Let's Link Collective. And you can check out what we're doing. And you'll see the flyer for the food drive on there. If you want to attend, come on out.
Okay.
You can bring food, or if you are in need, you can come pick it up at the same time, same day. Okay. So those two, yeah. So that's where you can find me at. I also have my website. All of that stuff is on the Instagrams, all the Instagrams, the other information.
Okay.
And then if you want to reach out to me directly, I am giving you my number. So get your pencil, pen, paper. 330-623-5085. There you go.
And Bombshell?
Yes, yes. Bombshell Sensations. Thank you. Okay, so that Instagram is at Bombshell Sensations. That's what that is. So if you guys want to support, come on out. As I said, we will be having the food drive. You can meet me in person if you want to. I will have a table there, and we're collabing with another nonprofit for that event. There will be different tables, different people, so different resources there at the food drive. So it's just a bunch of different things going on at once. So bring some canned goods, bring some food, or you can come to receive some food.
Thank you so much. And
Yeah, thank you.
and thank you for joining us on Business in Black with Robin Blue. Cheyenne's story is a powerful reminder that you can achieve your dreams with determination and innovation. Remember, your vision is your strength. Be sure to check out Cheyenne's businesses and support her incredible work. And don't forget to subscribe to Business in Black with Robin Blue for more inspiring stories from Black women entrepreneurs. Until next time, keep building your dreams.
And be the bomb.
Okay, hold on. I gotta come out of this. Let's see. Stop recording.